All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So, what I want to talk about on this podcast is people undervaluing others. And I think when I was younger, I was the king of this. I don't know why I didn't really appreciate all the people out there doing all the things for me. Now, I'm not even talking family members and friends and colleagues. I'm talking about strangers and me just totally undervaluing people, especially, and I'm kind of embarrassed sometimes, like the military. When I was younger, I didn't really even, it wasn't even on my radar. Now, I can't even tell you how much respect I have for them. Firemen, policemen. I used to actually, argue, I think growing up in a certain neighborhood that I was in, kind of not respecting the police. And I go back and forth still sometimes regarding certain things, behavior on both ends. And I'm not going to say all police are wonderful or all firemen are wonderful. I think we all have our ups and downs in life, but I do think that's probably the hardest job next to the military in the world. I think that job is just, if you can be a police officer and you're out there to protect your city, state, country too, it's unbelievable. And the stress has got to be unreal. Same with a fireman. But I also think people truly undervalue, what others are doing just in their surrounding city or state. And what makes me laugh a lot of times, and I'm going to, when people bring up racism to me or anything like that, I don't really understand that to a certain degree. I know we all have our cultures we grew up in and we fight amongst each others. I don't care what it is or argue. And we all have little digs. I don't care who you are. You make fun of other different nationalities and ethnic groups and you make fun of your own. It's just, I think to pretend that we don't do certain things is ridiculous. I do not believe that, like, we're all out to hurt each other, talk shit behind each other's back. I've never been surrounded by that, especially with my parents. I've talked about it. My mother's idol was Tina Turner. My dad's was Little Richard and James Brown, Soul Train, and those were their favorite shows. My dad's dream was to become, a professional musician, but he loved soul music. Like my mother loves dancing. That was her dream. So maybe I was just raised in a different environment when it comes to race. A lot of my closest friends are black, whatever. But my point being here is, why I bring up race a little bit in this is because I don't care where you go, other people of other different ethnic groups and people in general are helping you. I don't care if I go to Starbucks today, someone there, I don't care, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever, they're going to make me a delicious cup of coffee. That's wonderful. I can't make that coffee maybe the way they make it. Maybe I can make a coffee. Even a French cafe place I go to, they're French, right? They make me delicious food over there. A lot of my closest friends own Italian restaurants, right? I go there. I don't know necessarily who's in the kitchen. I don't know who's black, white, Hispanic. It's not like I live in Italy here. But I do know when the food comes out, it's delicious. I don't care if I go to McDonald's. I don't care if I go to LA Fitness, my gym. They help me, hand me a towel. They clean. I see people cleaning the gym. I take my car to get an oil change. I don't care if I got to go to, I don't shop that much, but maybe if I went to Publix or I go to the mall and the cashier's there, you know what I mean? Like, even if I get on the phone with somebody, I need help with something, and someone's helping me on the phone. Again, I'm not looking at what color or what any of these things are. I don't know if you're from, even what country sometimes you're from, but I'm very aware how many people help me throughout the day, and I don't think others are. And it's time a lot of us, I really believe, start understanding this and really respecting this. Now, a lot of people, I think, too, are like, who gives a shit? That's their job. Well, you know what? You may work a job, and you have a lot of people out there that may treat you shitty or treat you like an asshole. And if you don't, you have your own business or you're very successful, God bless. But maybe your immigrant grandparents or maybe your family members or your dad, your mom, maybe they struggled. Maybe you have family members now struggling even though you're succeeding. Maybe people out there are treating them like shit. Do you like that? Of course not. Because let's face it, for the most part, we know a lot of, you may know a lot of wealthy people, middle-class people, but really we know a lot of other people that aren't that financially, secure at times. And it could be our own kids. It could be anybody struggling, and I really just wanted to bring this up because I really think we don't really understand how at times we may undervalue someone right in front of us that is doing something for us. And we'll wrap it up with this. I get a lot of times, let's say we go out to eat and sometimes the server isn't up to par. Or maybe we go and the food's not up to par. Maybe we go get our car fixed and the mechanic didn't do the job he was supposed to do. We're going to have a lot of that shit throughout our life, all right? But I think for the most part, a lot of times people want to do their best, or at least to the best of their ability. A lot of people, I don't believe, were trained properly. And they get thrown into the mess. They're trying to fight through it. They're trying to struggle through a lot of things. And, just have respect for one another. I really say that. Now, I'm not perfect either. Sometimes I get nuts and aggravated, don't get me wrong, at people out there. But for the most part, I really do love saying thank you to anybody, who's out there that does anything for me. I don't care if I'm even at a cashier at a gas station and I see a lot of people acting a certain way. I thank them, right? It's not just to make myself feel better. I think even me having a discussion, and I just had one on the phone talking to somebody who had me on hold for a long time and back and forth, and I think she thought I was going to be very frustrated. And I said, it's not your fault that we're having the problem we're having, for one. And two is, I can't imagine all the people calling you, screaming and yelling at you. She's like, almost every single person that calls me does that. And I said, it's got to be verbal abuse. She goes, it is, but we're just used to it. But I'm like, is that fair? Can you imagine having that type of job? Now, I know she chose that job, but still, a lot of times people aren't, necessarily out to hurt you, or it's even their fault why there's, certain situations we find ourselves in. But by handling it differently, all right, that's all I'm saying. I'm going to wrap it up there, but please, if you're younger, especially, respect your elders as well. Respect people. I promise you it's going to go so much further than disrespecting them, looking down on them, frowning upon them, making fun of them. That's the one thing I would say more than anything, is just treat people the way you want to be treated. All right? I'm going to wrap it up there. If you got any questions or comments, please hit me up. I'm at, my email's rich@richcelenza.com, and my website's richcelenza.com.